Hello guys, how is everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. Empress G here. And guys, you know, I like to make all of my own stuff, you know. So right now I ran out of ketchup. Can you imagine that? I ran out of my homemade ketchup. And like I said, I normally keep a store brand at home, you know, but folks, I just want to make my own ketchup right now. And guys, I have lots of tomato, and how I make my ketchup, I add my garlic to it, onion to it, some celery, some parsley, cilantro, basil, and some oregano. I can make it spicy if I want, or you know, this way, and a lot of herb. So right now folks, what you have to do, make sure if you get good tomatoes, preferably this time of the year it's loaded out there with tomatoes everywhere. So get some good tomatoes, wash them properly, and some baking soda and vinegar. And then what I do with mine, I peel all the skin from it, and cut them up, and they're gonna be steamed for a little while with the onions and garlic. Everything is just gonna steam right down. It's an easy process, guys. And then, you know, you had a little bit of sugar to it, not a lot. People like honey, some people put honey, but I find you know, I use a little bit of I prefer white. When I'm doing this kind of stuff, I put some white vinegar in it, this white distilled vinegar, and you just let it cook down. Then you just put it in your blender and blend it, and put it back to the stove, and thicken it up. Folks, you will see as I go. Well, right now I'm in the process of cutting up all my tomato and stuff, and some garlic and onions. So like I have some peel already, and I just peel it. You know, you could put it in boiling water and get the skin off easily, but I didn't. You know, I'm almost done, you know, the amount that I need. So I'm just gonna peel these few left. I have about 3 more left. I have some cut up in the pot already. I'm using a few pounds of tomato. And folks, this will last in the fridge for up to a month. But mine never lasts that long, you know, because when I make homemade tomato ketchup, I use it a lot, you know, a lot of my stuff. But the store-bought one, and that's it. You just peel it, and there. You don't do it with the skin on it. The skin is just an extra, you know, takes away from the taste, and doesn't even matter. These are organic, and still I, you know, like to wash them down properly, and I don't use the skin on them. So this is it. And folks, I tell you something, it tastes so much different from the store brand. It tastes so much nicer. I made a video early on, way back, you know. I have about 200 video right now, so it's way down there. So I just started on a lot of stuff I'm sort of introducing, because I know most people not going to go down there to find a lot of stuff. So one of the ketchup video was one of my first videos. I think about last year I did it, sometime last year, you know. So I have about 200 videos up there right now. So I just decided, like, I made it several times before, but I never really do a video, and I just thought, you know what, let me just when I look and see how far that one was, I said, let me do another video of how to make tomato ketchup. That one I did up there, I think, was a spicy one with cayenne pepper, and so this one basically is not gonna be without, it's not gonna be spicy. This one is gonna be just a normal, and I'm using about 2 sweet onions, Valdez white onion, and garlic, you know. You don't, these are optional, you know, but these I like in my ketchup. It gives my ketchup such a nice flavor with all these herbs. So I'm just gonna wash those in a few minutes. Let me just get rid of these. Okay, so I'm just gonna do and when I use the cilantro, folks, I just use the stick part, because that is where so much of the flavor is in. Not even so much the leaf, like the stick of the cilantro. And also the parsley. Okay, so I might be doing a lot of this garlic, because I love garlic in my ketchup. It gives it such a nice flavor. I'll just give it a... And when you do your garlic first, when you cut it, leave it for about 5 minutes, so it will release the allicin, and that's the antibacterial property in the garlic called allicin, and that you want to get that release if 5 minutes, and when you use it, that's when you really get the full effect of garlic. If you just cut it up and use it like that, you're not gonna get that effect. So cut your garlic and just cut it in two like that. Leave it for about 5 minutes, just like that. Then you use it. That's when you get the benefit of garlic. The garlic is basically antibacterial, have antibacterial properties, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. This is like top of the line medicine right here, folks. Garlic. This is one of the greatest herbs ever invented. Garlic. It's good for everything. It lowers your blood pressure, and it also helps with your sugar, diabetes, in the diabetes in general. Help with your insulin uptake. So I'll let allicin in 5 minutes just releases and start to work. I'm using about 30 tomatoes or so. I don't know if it's that much, but so yeah. So when I make now, I just make a good batch. And folks, the best way to have tomato is to cook it. That's another thing with tomato. Eat raw like that, you don't really get the benefit of it. When you cook it, there's a enzyme there in it that broke down. So that's why you see in Italian cooking, yeah, they cook with a lot of, and African cooking too. African cook with a lot of tomatoes. As a matter of fact, the African friend I get this recipe from, they cook with a lot of tomatoes, sauce and paste and all of that in most of their dishes. Yeah. Because when tomatoes cook, that's when you get the health benefit from it. I can't remember what is in it, but it's activated. And it's good for, especially if you have cancer or stuff like that. So tomato is very good, but not in the raw form, cooked. That's why sometimes if you don't get ketchup that don't have a lot of sugar, it's good to have ketchup on your stuff. But it's just the sugar aspect in ketchup why, it's for a lot of people, so, but it's a good thing. Cooked tomato, stewed tomato, that's where you get the full benefit from, folks. And I'm also going to add some ginger to this, and it gives it a nice flavor. Like I said, folks, this is how I do my tomatoes sauce. I get this recipe from my friend. She's from the Gambia, and they in African cooking cook with a lot of if you notice in Africa, you don't find a lot of people walking around with diabetes, or maybe now since you have all of these fast food unhealthy stuff creeping into Africa and into a lot of melanated countries, but still, where she from, in the Gambia, no, not a lot of people there with diabetes or high blood pressure. And these people eat everything from the land that they grow on. Cassava is a very big part of the dish, and cassava is so good for you. Don't worry about the starch, it is good for you. Those are resource starch. So folks, this is all, yeah. So all that now I'm just gonna cut up and add to the rest in the pot and start cooking. it's not going to be, I wait till the final, and when I curate, that's when I put in my salt, because folks, we need salt, but we don't need too much salt in anything. And in this homemade, the store-brand ketchup, there's salt and sugar, because you need that to preserve them in the store. And those are two of the main things that is really making us very sick these days, you know. Too much salt and too much sugar. So folks, with these tomatoes, I'm just gonna cut up like this. Just dice them up. Yeah. And everything just gonna go in the pot and just cook, and then puree. So all of these flavors gonna combine together, so it's gonna be wonderful. I had some cut up already in the pot, but I just thought I'd show you guys do these. And as usual, I'll leave all of this in the description, so if you want to try, do it. You know, make your own ketchup. If even once you tried it, it would be good. So folks, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for everybody who subscribed. And I just want to big up on some people who support me. Fire, big up yourself for all the support. Solji, Marie and Mello, thanks again for all the support. Deacon, all of you, big up yourself, okay? And take it easy. Yeah, so that's that. So I'm gonna cut up now the cilantro, and this is the part of the cilantro I use. This, you know, just the part without the leaf. The stem, folks, it has, you put this, and I'm also gonna add fresh basil to it too. So you know, basil and tomato go like husband and wife. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna add some fresh basil to it too. And I have some, this is a part of the celery I like to use where the leaves is on, because that's where you get the flavor from, you know. Okay, and all of this is gonna be cooking right now. Okay, this is a part of the celery with all that flavor, tender, and the leaves. And right now I'm just gonna be cutting, this is all washed, I'm just gonna cutting up some a little bit of parsley, parsley smells so great, folks, and this is going to be added to that too. So when this is done, this tomato, when I finish with this, it always have such a nice aroma, you know. It's from all the herbs, fresh herbs in it. And I'm also going to add a bit of rosemary, fresh rosemary. I'm pretty sure I had. I know I have fresh rosemary. Yes, I did. A bit of fresh rosemary, folks. Like I'm saying, this is basically, and this is all washed. This is rosemary left over from my rosemary oil I make. So nothing like fresh rosemary also. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it up. Take off the sprig. As this stick might not yeah, the stick I'll just dry for tea, but the sprig of it. So I have so much herbs going here. This, okay. So you get off, just get the sprigs off. Okay. And that, yeah, because the stick part is going to be very hard to so And everything combined, the garlic, everything, because all of this is going to be pureed down once it cooks. So the tomato is going to cook, and you don't add any water to the pot. No water to it. And my stick for rosemary, I use those for I dry them and I use them for making my tea. Rosemary tea. I did a haul yesterday, and folks, my knee felt so much better. I use it basically for my hair and for pain. Those are two of the thing with rosemary, and it can also use for scar tissue, to help scar tissue fade and stuff like that. And these are not these are facts, folks. It works. From my experience, well, you know, I've never done anything with scar tissue for it. Wow, those herbs are starting getting so folks, I gotta cut the onion up right now, and because I start, and these you just have to chunk these up, you know, because they're gonna be blended. Okay, and I use 2 fairly large size onion, and you can hear the pot going already because I had some started. Just wanted to start in. Okay, so I start off to move fast right now. Okay, so all of this with the tomato, everything is gonna go right in the pot right now. Okay, folks. So I'm just gonna move the camera up closer to the pot so you can see what's going on. I need my spoon, so I just started there with a few tomatoes, and I'm gonna pour everything in now, all the tomatoes, everything, and it's gonna cook down. And once it cooks, folks, then I just I'm not gonna add any salt to it at this time. Okay, so I'm gonna cover I'm not even gonna cover the pot because we don't want to make extra water, because this pot is good for like rice. Like when you put a small amount of water in it, you don't have to worry about your rice cooking because it produces water. So I'm not gonna cover the pot. I'm just gonna leave it and let all the tomato just simmer right down. See, folks? Okay, with all that beautiful herbs. And right now, like I said, I'm not adding any salt to it right now. Just let it cook. The smell started already, folks. It's so good. I'm just going to add a couple more tomato to it. I have a few soft ones still left, so I'm just going to add those to it. And that's the kind of tomato you use, folks, a very soft tomato, you know. The ones you have that you see is getting so soft, those are the perfect ones to use. I'll add the dry herbs to it when I am gonna, after it puree, and I put it back on the fire just to simmer. So I'm gonna add a few more soft tomato I had here to it. The smell, folks, oh, awesome. And if you keep this in the fridge, you can keep, because I keep it well in the fridge longer than a month. And acid is in it, the vinegar is gonna be in it, and probably a little lemon juice, so acid keeps things so it won't spoil. Because that's the whole idea when you buy the ketchup, you can keep it outside of the acid that they put in it to preserve it, among other things. So I'm gonna leave it on I'm gonna lower the heat and just let it simmer. And don't cover it because it will turn into a tomato soup, and I don't want that. So folks, that's it. So I'm gonna lower the heat down to medium and just let it cook. Let it cook. Right now tomato is like 99 cents a pound, folks. And if you, when you're using the tomato, use Roma tomato, the plum tomato. That is the best tomato to use, okay? That tomato has a lot of flavor in it. If you don't have it, then you can use any other tomato, but I would recommend Roma tomato. That's top of the line for the Italian. That's what they use. Roma tomato. I'm finding so much more soft ones here, folks. So here's two more, and they're very, very soft. And at this stage, this will be just for cooking. You know, I buy a lot of tomatoes, folks, because I cook with a lot of tomatoes. Tomato and garlic and ginger. The ginger is gonna go in a few minutes. I cook with a lot of tomato because the flavor, you need that flavor from the tomato. For almost every dish. When I grew up back home in Jamaica, we have tomato, all of that. You just throw the seed outside, and in a couple of days you see trees start to grow. That's how fertile it is back there. So folks, get up and utilize all of that God-given nature and plant your own food. It's healthier. Plant your food, Jamaican. Plant your food. We are abroad, and we have about I would say maybe 3 months for summer. And you'd be surprised, folks, the stuff that we plant in that few months. You know, even people on balcony. I go on, friends of mine on balcony, and they have sweet potato growing, callaloo growing in pots. Yeah. This is the thing. The smell right now, so I just add those to it, and that's the end of the Safi tomato. The smell is to die for. Smell incredible. The cilantro and the rosemary and all the herbs that I showed in it. Awesome. If you put the salt in it right now, the whole idea you don't put the salt, for folks, it's gonna make more moisture, and you don't want that. Okay, so that's why you had the salt at the end when you go to blend it. That's when you put your salt in, because salt pull out moisture from stuff, so you don't want to add any salt in it right now. So folks, I'm gonna let that simmer down, and when we come back it will be ready to puree. Okay, all right, be right back. Okay guys, we're back, and the tomato is ready. And look folks, look at that. So I'm just gonna transfer it to the food processor right now. Okay, so it stews down, so everything is gonna be going to the food processor. You see the amount of water it makes, folks? The juice comes from the tomato, so you don't need to add anything in it, any water or anything in it. Okay, makes its own juice, and that's what we're looking for. The stick not gonna work. So I don't want to put it too far up because it is a hot liquid. So let's put it on, and see folks. Yes, so I'm gonna have to throw this pot this into because that's where I'm gonna return it to finish cook. So in order for me to get that to pour back inside here. That's what. Then it's gonna go back to the fire and just simmer. Then I'll add some basil and oregano and the salt at that point. Okay. So make sure that the pot, all of this seasoning and everything is out. Okay. So this is gonna go back to the pot in a few minutes. So folks, let me show you what it looks like. Puree. See, look at that. Tomato sauce in the making right there, folks. And the smell, folks. So I have a little bit more to go, or probably maybe more than one. I don't know if all of this is gonna all at once. I hope so. I don't want to do too much blending. I'm doing it late night. I don't want to. Okay, I'm just gonna blend this up. Hot, so you have to be very careful. Give a little pulse. Let's see, folks, what we got. Beautiful. So there it is, folks. And it's gonna go now and further reduce to thicken up. Back to the stove. Okay. And I have to add vinegar and a bit of sugar to it. And I'm using white vinegar in this sense. Because white distilled vinegar will hold up much better. Okay, so folks, I am going to return it to the stove to simmer down. And you just keep the stove on a low heat. So basically right now I'm gonna add in about half a cup of sugar, about a tablespoon of salt, and I'm using pink Himalayan salt. A tablespoon of salt and half a cup of sugar. And then you're just gonna let it simmer. Sugar down. And 1 cup of white distilled vinegar. That's the preserve part there, folks. That's to preserve it. Vinegar and the sugar. That's good. I could use a little bit more salt. So I'm going for my dry herbs now, and this is basil, about a teaspoon of basil, and oregano the same. I think that should be it. And I always add a little bit of my gayu to it. And I just stir. And once it reduces, I'll just add some potato starch to thicken it up. But we just leave it, let it reduce slowly. Yeah, to a certain degree. Then I'll add it. I use potato starch because I find I don't want, when you use the cornstarch right now, we're gonna make it too pale, and I want to keep the color of my ketchup, you know. Also, if you use potatoes, if you use cornstarch in certain things, and you have a food coloring, you know, which is a safe food coloring, you just add it to it so it doesn't get that paleness to it, you know. So, but potato starch is a better starch to use because it doesn't change the complexion of your dish that you're doing. Yeah, that's the thing with potato starch. I don't know, it looks like something is in the potato starch that really keeps it intact, you know? So folks, basically that's just going to be simmering down right now. You can see all that bubbles, see all of that. So that's going to be just simmering till it just, you know, it's going to come down to a certain consistency of what I want it to. Then I'll add this little starch. If it's thick enough, sometimes you don't have to, because when it cools it gets very thick. So we'll see how it goes, because it also have to do with the texture of the tomatoes you use. And if you're using one with a lot of water, this is why it's best to use the Roma tomatoes. Yeah, those don't use so much could take a little bit more salt, folks, a little bit more. So I'll just add a little bit more. That's about a cup, yeah. And like I said, folks, it's to your taste. It's salt and pepper to your taste, you know. Yeah, those are two things to your taste. So you can't go by recipe all the time. You depend on how much salt you prefer in your stuff. Yeah, very good, folks. So right now, folks, I'm just gonna leave it there to simmer right down. You know, as you can see, it's bubbling. I leave it on the low heat. That's gonna go for about an hour and a half or so at a slow, or maybe up to, you know, about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Just leave it slowly, let it just simmer and just slowly dry down. Okay, so folks, once that is accomplished, I'll be right back. Okay, all right. Okay guys, we're back and we're here with the final product. Okay, so it's all done, and this is the couple other ingredients I forgot to tell you guys that I put in. Those are also optional too, and that is basically bell peppers. Okay, so that was added. You know, I forgot to mention that. So folks, this is the ketchup here at the final stage. It was so thick, guys, I didn't have to put any thickener in it. So real tomato ketchup, folks, and you have your chips there to go with it. You don't get no better than that, folks. That is homemade ketchup. This is homemade fries too, folks. Okay. So folks, all I'm gonna do when it's cool, I just bottle it. That's it right there. It could be bottled now if I want to. I do a bottle of it right now. It's gonna be running down at this side. I'm gonna have to wash it off because my ladle though doesn't have a tip, you know, one of those straight round labels. So I'm gonna have to wash off the side of this bottle. And these are canning bottle I'm using right now. That's why I'm able to put it in hot. And like I said, folks, this lasts in your fridge for over a month for me. But sometimes it doesn't last that long because it's so good, folks. So this is homemade ketchup here, folks, at its finest. And folks, I heal quite a bit, so I might get a whole another bottle or two from this. And those I'm going to be just giving away for present, you know. This is why I like to make things, and these are the kind of gifts I like to give to people. Not no Gucci bag or no clothes or no stuff like that. Practical stuff that people can use and people need, okay? So anybody, all my folks know, the ones who I give things to, know that I don't give no Gucci bag or no name brand thing. Because folks, it's the only two things that's gonna sustain life on this planet: clean food and good clean food and clean water. Those are all that matter, folks. So don't look for me for any Gucci bag, okay, folks? Some nice plum tomato, folks. Wow, that's ketchup. Folks, it's so good. It is so good. Wow. Folks, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay? Appreciate it. And all you guys, big up yourself. And like I said, go over to Fire and give him 50,000 subscribers by the end of the month, folks. Okay? Go over to Fire and show Fire some strength. Give Fire some strength. Okay? And Richard too. Richard Brown and Solji and Liz. Okay, go support the man. Mello, Marian Mello. Okay, Deacon, all of you guys, big up yourself. This stuff is so good. Try and make your own. If it's even one time, folks, try and do it for yourself. It is so good with these nice plum tomatoes. You don't get no better than that. This is so addictive, folks. So folks, that's my homemade ketchup there. So try it, folks. Okay. Alright, so take it easy. Folks, take it easy.